All right, what's up, fellas? Third week in a row for Wake Up Mintzy, presented by Dude Wipes. I gotta tell y'all, I'm coming in here. I'm feeling fresh. I'm feeling fiery on this Tuesday morning, and why not? Because this is a great freaking week to be alive. It's springtime. We're joined as always by remotely from our good friend, our producer Tyler Moody, joining us from Louisiana. Mr. Moody, how are you on this fine morning?
Hey, good morning, Ben. I'm here. I'm good to go. Feeling nice. World Championship Texas Rangers. Got a chance to be in the building with them the other night as they raised the banner. So I'm over here rocking the gold and feeling pretty good on a Tuesday. I actually hate waking up this early, but I'm feeling pretty good, and it's worth it when you get to wake up with Mincy.
There you go. Look at that attitude on this beautiful, beautiful morning. Ton of stuff to get into, but first, I want to thank our sponsors. The only way to wake up, the world's finest coffee, Big Cat's coffee brand, Stella Blue Coffee. Only way to start the day. Chug some Stella Blue coffee. Get up. That first cup of coffee, the best ever. Check out StellaBlueCoffee.com. Supports great causes and rescue dogs as well. Big Cat, one of the greatest Americans I know. And we also want to thank our presenting sponsor, Dude Wipes. No one cleans up messes better. You can use Dude Wipes once. All you literally have to do is use this product once. And you'll be like, why have I used crappy dry toilet paper forever when I can use Dude Wipes? You can find them all on the internet. You can find them at retail stores, Amazon, Target, Walmart. They're everywhere. They're nationwide. No one cleans up messes better. And one of my favorite, most appropriate sponsorships of all time. So much stuff to get into here today, Mr. Moody. But we're going to start with last night first, and then we'll get into what happened over the weekend in Major League Baseball, your trip to Arlington. The whole world's eyes was on LSU Iowa. The Elite Eight NCAA women's tournament game. Could Caitlin Clark of Iowa, the all-time leading scorer in college basketball, get revenge on LSU from last year's national championship game? And the answer was a resounding yes. I watched the whole game last night. It was unbelievable tempo first half. It's just incredible, the level of women's basketball. I would argue the most anticipated game, one of them in women's history. Dave Portnoy flew up to Albany yesterday from Florida. He brought Trent. They were having a huge time in there. Dave talking a lot of smack to LSU. Again, Caitlin Clark just going nuts, Moody. I swear it's like she's Stephen Curry playing women's basketball. I mean, she's pulling up from 35 feet, just knocking down threes. She hit her over under was like 32, 33 points, went way over, and Iowa gets revenge on LSU to make the Final Four. LSU and Kim Mulkey unable to defend their national championship from last year. Still a great season, but ultimately the pressure this year got to them. There's a lot of stuff, with the articles at LA Times, Washington Post, all this stuff was going on too. But LSU ultimately falls to Iowa in the Elite Eight. The women's Final Four now set. UConn, the 3 seed and traditional superpower, beat USC, the 1 seed last night. Paige Buchers had 28 points leading UConn. So you got UConn, Iowa, NC State, and then the huge overwhelming favorite, South Carolina, in the women's Final Four. NC State, what a freaking story. They make the Final Four in women's and men's. So does UConn. How is that even possible, Moody? You know how many damn schools there are in the country that play college basketball, and you've got 2 of the 4 in the men's and women's Final Four in both? I mean, I know UConn might have done that before because they've made 7 Final Fours in the men's since 99, and we all know how dominant their women's program. NC State hadn't made the Final Four since they won the national title in 1983. What a time for Wolfpack fans who are perpetually kind of, under the shadow of Duke and North Carolina, but they're in the men's and women's Final Four. The men's Final Four set on Saturday. 2 games in Arizona. Huge Barstool crew going out to Scottsdale for it. The early game, Purdue, the 1 seed against the Cinderella 11 seed NC State. And the late night game, Alabama making the Final Four for the first time in program history. Rico Bosco, the belle of the ball, with his guy Nate Oates. They're in tough shape, probably taking on UConn. And the biggest lines, I looked at DraftKings earlier, the biggest lines in the Final Four 2 games since the 1970s, with UConn being a huge favorite over Alabama and Purdue being a huge favorite over NC State. So great sports week with the men's and women's Final Four. Moody, I want to jump into your thing because if y'all aren't following Moody on Twitter, it's at MoodyMacTV. You're missing out because he's giving out winners left and right. He's doing his home run props as well as his picks. I believe you won something like 7 of your picks in a row that were non-home run props on Major League.
We got our first 9 picks. So we were 9-0 on our last 9. We went 2-2 yesterday. So we're 11 of our last 13 picks that we've given out, and 2 of our picks yesterday missed by the hook. So we're right there on them. We're all over it. We're a little cold in the home run props, but that's one thing I want people to understand. If you're going to bet these home run props, like, they're not the easiest thing in the world to do. You know what I mean? Like, picking somebody to hit a home run and then pairing them up with somebody else to hit a home run, it's not easy, and that's the reason we're getting such great return odds on them. But yeah, as far as the picks are concerned, 11 of our last 13, and trust me, we're gonna get hot with these home run props here very soon. We already hit one 29-1 parlay this year, so we're heating up. It's just gonna be a matter of time.
Yeah, so follow at Moody Mac TV on Twitter. He usually does the home run props. He'll point his units out because he bets less units on the home run props because they're longer shots, and he'll do a couple bomb parlays. But you did hit a 29-1 on Saturday. Talk to me for a second. You were up here for Wake Up Mintzy in Chicago last week, and then you flew to Dallas, and you were in the building with the Texas Rangers, raising the World Series banner on Thursday night, and then winning a thriller in extra innings over the Cubs. How was it?
The perfect way to start the season. You have the banner. It was the most electric I've ever seen Globe Life Park. Unfortunately, I wasn't there for the World Series, so I didn't get a chance to experience that. But as far as
because they closed it out in Arizona,
right,
you had
yeah,
Game 6 tickets,
I had Game 6 tickets. I was planning on being there, and then they closed it out in Arizona, so I was okay with that. But yeah, it was the most electric I've ever seen the barn, and just such a good feeling. And then obviously the walk-off, Jonah Heim making up for his mistakes, atoning for his mistake that allowed the Cubs to take the lead. And I mean, huge moment from Travis Jankowski. The Rangers are legit, even though Josh Young broke his wrist yesterday.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, fractured wrist, so he's going to miss some time. But it doesn't matter. Ezekiel Duran will step up. The rest of this lineup is so freaking good. It's one of the best lineups in baseball, if not the best lineup in baseball once again. And excited to see where this season is going to go for the Rangers. Just glad to have baseball back in general. I mean, I'm over here salivating, already thinking about a new day. So really pumped up with where things are at right now, Ben.
Yeah, like I said, follow at Moody Mac TV on Twitter for picks, and we've got some baseball stuff and content in the works we're excited about too. Some pro and college baseball y'all be seeing soon. Also, today, I mean, should be a day in like American history because it's the first Frank the Tank appearance on Wake Up Mintzy. He's going to be joining us here in a couple of minutes. Can't wait to catch up with Frank. There are rumors he might be cooking. I know one thing, Moody. He's probably going to be pretty pissed off because the Mets look awfully rough early.
Yeah, this was kind of anticipated. I talked about this the other day with Stu on the show, that I felt like the Mets were they're going to need Francisco Lindor to be the MVP candidate, Francisco Lindor, that we expected, or what they expected whenever they signed him. He did go 30-30 last year, but I feel like they need him to carry the team. They need Alonso to stay healthy and provide the home run pop. And then obviously that pitching rotation is one of the biggest concerns for the Mets. I don't know. We'll see how things hold up for them down the stretch. And the problem is they're in a very competitive American League East.
Well, with that, let's just be joined by the man, the myth, the legend himself, the king of New York. So much fun stuff to get into with him. We're going to be joined by Frank the Tank. Frank, I want to thank you so much for waking up with us and joining Wake Up Mintzy for the first time. It's an honor to have your presence. How are you this morning?
Did I just hear that the Mets are in the American League East?
Oh, did I say American League East? I meant to say National League East. My bad.
Get on his ass, Frank.
Yeah,
Moody actually knows baseball extremely well. Yeah. That's like the first mistake I've heard him make.
I'm just asleep here. That's my bad, Frank. I'm just still asleep this morning.
Frank, how are you doing this morning?
I have no expectations for the Mets, but holy motherfucking fuck! I mean, I spent all off season saying that this is going to be a nightmarish season, and I saw, no, you're being negative. You're being negative. There's a brick in front of Citi Field. It says Frank was right.
Oh man, I hate to hear that this early in the season, 4 games in.
But in fact, not only that, once Pete Alonso's gone, and this team thinks this fan base is so just dumb that they think the Mets are going to try to get Juan Soto from the Yankees. Well, the Sequence says he'll never bid against Yankees for players. So that means no Alonso next year, no Soto, and a farm system that turns out players like Brett Beatty and Mark Vientos. This is the Mets. I predict this. The Mets, the next 10 years, will be the worst team year after year after year after year. After year after year after year after year, I predict the Mets will lose 100 or more games each of the next 10 years. They will be The Mets will be an abyss, and all they will bring out to you is this dance crew. That they said, it doesn't matter win or lose, we got the Queens crew. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to see a dance crew.
I've noticed
They
that.
take the Mets Hall of Fame, and they get rid of it. They basically, I heard they want to even melt down the World Series trophies for gold chains for the Queens crew.
We're joined by Frank the Tech here on Wake Up Mintzy, presented by Dude Wipes. Frank, I noticed, so you went down to Met spring training, and then you've gone to a couple of the games so far already in Citi Field too.
Yep.
So has there been any positive experiences so far? Has it just been nothing but negative so far this year?
It is nothing but negative. It's terrible. The Mets basically put their Hall of Fame in a hidden corner, saying that here's the World Series trophies. We actually don't want to display them. We're ashamed of them because winning is evil, and that we want the Queens crew out there. The loud dancing, annoying, just awful, awful, awful. Ticket prices went up 18%. And the play on the field is atrocious. Their pitching staff is bad. Their lineup is bad. Lindor is going to have a bad season. They took Brandon Nimmo, a slap hitter, and told him it would be better if you pulled the ball. Now he can't even get on base. He's bad. His OPS is under 100. Basically right now, Lindor, Nimmo. The only two players who have hit so far a little bit. Alonso, he's not been great, but he's hit, and Alvarez is hit, and that's it. That's it. The pitching's been a brutal. Manaea pitched good yesterday, but then you have DJ Stewart. DJ Stewart is DJ Stewart. He had a good stretch last year, but he's still DJ Stewart. He still sucks. Brett Beatty sucks. Joey Wendell, Jeff McNeil. I am done with Jeff McNeil. He is no longer Jeff McNeil.
Didn't he lead the NL in batting a couple years ago?
Yeah, but then the Mets told him they'd rather have him pull the ball, hit with more power, and now he doesn't hit because the Mets say if the Mets coaching staff saw Tony Gwynn, he would have hit 140. They ruined prospects. They ruined players with this lift, lunge. They got to get launch angle. But Biff, they don't even care how you strike out. It is a terrible organization run poorly by a con man owner.
Right, thanks. Strong words. This morning for the Mets and owner Steve Cohen. I saw you said something positive about the JD Martinez signing. Was that the only thing you liked that they'd have done?
Yeah, because when the worst case scenario is when they fall out of the race, which will probably be by Memorial Day, they could trade him and get maybe another mediocre prospect. That's all the Mets ever do. The Mets can't even scout talent. They drafted Brett Beatty ahead of Corbin Carroll. That's all you have to know. They drafted Brett Beatty ahead of Corbin Carroll.
Oh, Frank.
And then they said Brett Beatty's next George Brett. The only thing he's third baseman, his name is Brett. And he's left-handed. That is all he has in common with George Brett. I'd rather have 71-year-old George Brett hitting than Brett Beatty. And playing third base.
Frank, outside of Alvarez, is there anything for Mets fans to look forward to in the future?
Not a thing, and they're going to trade Alvarez because they believe in Kevin Parada.
Right, go ahead.
This is going to be the worst era in Mets history. They will not sniff the postseason for 20 years. And everyone who's talking about Uncle Stevie, well, where's your Uncle Stevie now?
The only positive I would see from the outside is at least he's got money to spend, but they're not going to do that if they're not contenders. So that probably is only relevant if they're contending, right?
Well, you start by signing your own players. And the fact that they're putting those little nuggets out there with Pete Alonso going to Zach Bryan concerts. What's he supposed to be to go home? It was a day game. It was an 8 o'clock concert 10 miles from your stadium. Is he supposed to sit home and mope? Meanwhile, you got the door smiling ear to ear after losing yesterday, saying, "Well, it's just one of these things." And you got a manager who says that, "Well, it's okay. We'll have 4-game losing streaks throughout the year. Winning isn't always that big a deal." But no, God forbid, Pete Alonso dances with Zach Bryan.
Zach Bryan, certainly friend of Barstool, dating Brianna. Saw Large's son got to go hang out with him the other night. At least that was positive. But I don't think that's going to save Frank's Mets, nor is that going to help Frank in this current situation.
I despise the way this team is being run. I've never been more helpless or angry. I hate to say it. It was better under Wilpon.
Wow. Moody, you mentioned the Mets thing. You said the only way you think they can be good is if Lindor comes back to MVP form.
Yeah, I think Lindor has to be MVP-esque, and then obviously on top of that, you need the pitching staff to be better. And unfortunately for the Mets, they've run into some injuries. We'll see. Kodai Senga is going to come back at some point. But like Frank is saying, this is a team that learns how to ruin their best players. They should be actively trying to re-sign Pete Alonso long term, but it seems like they're going to let him walk at the end of the year. And I don't know. It's just when you're in the
and the Mets have already said we have no plans to give an extension to Alvarez.
That's insane.
But Beatty, on the other hand,
Alvarez looks like he's becoming a stud too.
Yeah, Alvarez. They will never do what the Braves do. They'll never. This team is not smart, and in 2 years, Alvarez will be gone.
I want to ask you about this, Frank, because I thought this was one of the worst moves I've seen in baseball recently. You go give Scherzer and Verlander all that money, and then you end up getting the prospects they got in return were not very good. That felt like just the perfect microcosm of what the Mets are. Terrible signings and then losing trades in the end as well.
I mean, Drew Gilbert. Who is this guy going to be? I look at Drew Gilbert, and you know what I see? I see a 4th or 5th outfielder.
Mm-hmm.
I look at Jet Williams. I see a 4th or 5th outfielder. I see Luis Angel Acuna. I see Wilton Guerrero. I see Mike Vassell. I see another 5th starter bum like Tyler McGill. And these are the prospects they're hyping up.
So right now, let's say you're the GM. Put your GM hat on. What are some absolute must-make moves that you're doing to get this team right?
Well, first off, Pete Alonso extension. Secondly, early extension, Alvarez. And then you have to be aggressive in the offseason. You can't do what the Mets did this offseason. Joey Wendell sucks. I mean, I'd rather have Jonathan Arroyo than Joey Wendell. This guy booted a ball in the 10th inning. Looks like he doesn't even know what he's doing with a bat. He's the most non-competitive at bats I've seen since Ty Kelly. And then they call this guy Zach Short. Who are these bums? They are bums. They shouldn't be playing for the Long Island goddamn Ducks.
Oh man, Frank, I'm sorry they're torturing you this much because the season's just started.
Toxin.
Joined by Frank the Tank here on Wake Up Mintzy, presented by Dude Wipes. Well, Frank, luckily for you, you've got a lot of positives going in your life other than the Mets right now to look at.
Frank Walks going.
Exactly, and that's where we're going to transition to. And then you also got a ballpark tour coming up as well.
I put the Frank Walks t-shirt on today, but that's one of the hottest sellers right now.
Hell yeah, it's one of the hottest sellers because it's a movement. It's a nationwide, it's a worldwide movement. You've walked, I believe are you almost at how many days in a row have you walked now?
Today will be day 188.
That's 6 months straight, no days off. And Frank, I got to give you credit because there's a lot of shitty weather days in the Northeast. And
yeah, you did. You have no idea. I mean, it's been brutal. Right now, it's a beautiful 39 degrees and soaking showers. It's probably going to rain the next 2 days. There's a 100% chance of rain today and a 99% chance of rain tomorrow. And hopefully a 0% chance the Mets actually play baseball.
but you're still going to get out there and walk. I got to give you huge credit, man. I admire your dedication. Shout out to I love the team you've got with Jinx and Mikey Betts. You got a great
Oh, they're
crew
doing
working with you.
Mikey and Jenks are both doing great. They got many things. We got many more things lined up too. It's incredible. And with the Mets being so horrible, I'm getting out of New York this year. I can't sit home watching this team day after day after day after day. I've always wanted to do a Dirty Ballpark tour, and the Dirty Ballpark tour is underway. I've with City Field actually, but we will be touring every major league stadium this year. We'll be going to every town, and I guess we'll make announcements before which towns we're going to, and do fan meetups there, and do different things in each town we go to. I know Barstool's going to have some events here and there. I'm going to try to collate some of that with going to these stadiums. So it's going to be an experience. We're going to do a lot of driving. We're going to be on the road a lot, and I need it because 4 games in, and I've already had enough of this Mets team.
Frank, I freaking love it. Taking it to the people around America. So you're a huge historian. Like, I mean, people know this about you, but you're the best sports historian at this company by far. Honestly, one of the best I've ever seen. You know so much about the history. So as far as ballparks go, what ballparks are you most excited about checking out?
Well, I've already been to Wrigley once, and I've already, well, a couple times actually, and I've already been to PNC. But of the stadiums and I love PNC. That's a beautiful stadium. Of the stadiums I've never been to, I would love to, I can't wait to go to San Francisco. The Coors Field. I want to see if I could sit on the Western Metal the stands for the Padres, Petco Park. I mean, those will be the ones. I haven't been to a major league stadium west of Mississippi yet. I've all my stadiums I've been to, and I've been to almost half of them, are east of Mississippi.
That's awesome. Well, I know I can't wait to follow it and the Stoolies nationwide. Can't wait to meet you. I love that you, Frank. I know you're not a fan of flying, so you talked about being on the road. You like driving and being on the road way more. That's kind of one of your things I've noticed.
Yeah, well, it's not so much that I don't hate like flying. I just hate the airport.
Mm-hmm.
I hate the airport in every single way. Yes, I never get through security without being patted down. Then you have to be there like an hour or two before the plane takes off. It takes forever to get through security. You check a bag. It takes 45 minutes to get the bag out of a baggage claim. It's always a hassle. And then you're sitting there in a plane for whatever long you're in a flight, and you're just seeing nothing. But and half the time the Wi-Fi doesn't work up there. It's if I can, I like being on the road trips better.
Love that. Well, hey, man, I get made fun of for there's nothing more American speech, but there really is nothing more American than getting out and hitting 30 ballparks in one season. The announcement's coming soon. We all can't wait to follow it. And that's going to be amazing content. And the things, Frank, you do so, I mean, there's a lot of things you do really well, but man, you get out and you take it to the people, which is a man after my own heart. That's what I like doing too. And I know you're excited to get to meet Stoolies nationwide, I would think, right?
Yep, I was a little overwhelmed Saturday.
I heard that. I saw Jinx posted about it where he needs like more security detail. It's getting so ridiculous.
I mean, as part of my ballpark tour, I'm basically going to walk all the concourses.
Oh, that's awesome.
Walked all 3 levels of Citi Field, better than watching the game at this point. And I walked all 3 concourses at Citi Field, all 3 levels. And I got stopped like every 2 minutes, every like 10 seconds almost, like half the time. It's like if anyone saw me, I'm being stopped. And I must have taken 500 pictures on Saturday. So it's good. It's going to be something else. And what I'm doing is I'm recording. I'm going over little details of the ballpark. I'm going to review a hot dog at each stadium and a signature food item. For example, my favorite food item is the Pat LaFita steak. I reviewed that at Citi Field, and the hot dog at Citi Field. And I'm going to go review like all these different things, go around the ballpark, see the some of the featured parts of the stadium, look at different parts of the stadium, like the Mets little, I mean, it's almost the size of my bathroom, Met Museum. That's how embarrassing it is. Because they have to sell more. They have to sell more shirts. There's not enough merchandising places, so they had to expand the team store. Couldn't give up 50 feet at a team store for a Mets museum. No, 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 no. We had to sell more stuff, overpriced, overcharged. You could buy it cheaper online if you want to buy it. No, you want to get these people there. You want to get these suckers into the stadium. And then they didn't have the one thing. The one thing I want to buy is that number 3 Buddy Harrelson patch, and they're not selling them. Nope. But they do have sweatshirts. So the Queens crew.
I've noticed you've been going after this Queens crew. So what is this? The dance team that dances at like between innings? What's going on with them?
Yes. And they're uncoordinated. I mean, it's like you go to an NBA game. You got the dancers come out during timeouts. Well, the Mets geniuses of marketing have now decided to do that. Meanwhile, they now have LED lights that flash and blow, and during night games, which look ridiculous. I mean, it's anything to distract the fact that the team absolutely fucking sucks.
Well, I would ask too about Frank. I've been noticing, man, you look freaking great. Like I was looking at pictures from like a couple of years ago to now, and man, I know you had a good weight. You've been keeping up the weigh-ins and stuff. I saw the one you did with Saquon on the Frank Walks. The Frank Walk series taking off. You've done Saquon and Dave Portnoy, and I saw the Mike Francesco one. You're continuing to do that. But how are you? Like? I'm just asking as a person because I fight the hell stuff too. How are you feeling? Is it making a big difference in your day to day?
Yeah, I have a little more energy. I can walk a little bit faster. I have a little more stamina.
Awesome. That's great. That's got to be a good feeling, I would think, right?
Yep. Going upstairs, still not easy, but at least there's a little less pressure on my knee.
That's good. Hell yeah. Well, so you've done 6 straight months now of walks, including and no days off, including bad weather, which that to me is the most impressive thing because, we're all humans and stuff. And man, there's days where you just don't feel, it's like dragging yourself on the days you don't want to do it. It's like the biggest victory because when it's sunny outside, it's like easy.
Yeah,
but just,
I even had one day where I walked and had a 102 temperature.
oh, wow. You had your Michael Jordan flu game with Frank Walks?
And then I had this like horrible sinus infection that lasted like an entire week. My eyes were watery. I was so stuffed up. It was like horrible. And I still managed to try to walk through that.
That's awesome. Well, people love it because it's, I strongly believe in this. You're using your platform to really help people, and that you're connecting with people on an unbelievable level.
Yeah,
and
I know some people have told me that they've started walking, and I know one guy says that he was like having heart troubles, and the walking has helped alleviate that.
That's awesome, man. Because that's really what's about. Like when you're using your platform to affect people's lives and help people. I know I sound a little, I may sound cheesy saying that, but the hell with it. I mean, that's all you can do in life is spread, good stuff to humanity. So I hope you really, I know it means a lot to you, but it should. I mean, that's very, very powerful. And I freaking love it. I'm proud of you, to be honest.
Thanks. It's been highly successful, and it's been a very good thing, very good experience on all levels.
Yeah, and the Frank Walks T-shirt's one of the best sellers in the Barstool store. If you get a chance, check them out. I know, I'm seeing them everywhere.
Yeah, they're great, and I think that they're only going to take off even more.
Frank, I know, I guess it's a couple weeks ago now, but you had a really good beef on. I know you're a Seton Hall fan in college basketball. I thought y'all got shafted not getting in the tournament, especially after what I saw out of Virginia that first round.
Yeah, and I mean, they made it to the quarterfinal, the semifinals of the NIT.
Yeah, I thought that
for the NIT. I mean, that's all you need to know. I think Seton Hall could have at least made the Sweet 16.
All 3 Big East teams that made the tournament did.
Yeah, I think they could have made a little bit of a run, especially. Yeah, I think the Big East was definitely undervalued. I think the Mountain West. I mean, I don't understand how the Mountain West got 6 teams, and they did. I'm not saying that they're all terrible. That they all didn't deserve to go. but 6 for the Mountain West is a lot.
Yeah, no doubt. Only San Diego State made the Sweet 16. I want to ask you, and I'm just running this back. I know we've been talking about Frank Walks, but as far as I want to ask about the content side of it, because y'all been doing the produced videos, y'all doing with Saquon, Dave, Mike, Francesca. What do you have coming up as far as that goes as you continue to grow it?
Well, we're gonna have another the next 2 episodes of Frank Walks that are gonna come out are gonna be one's gonna be with Allen Houston.
Oh, wow.
And that one's coming out next week, and then a couple of weeks after that, I did this one, sometimes fate smiles upon you. I walked with 3 actors from The Sopranos,
Oh, wow. Okay. Love that.
and the day we did the walk, it was a nasty rainy day, like half this winter's been for us up here, and so we were able to make like an arrangement at a local restaurant depot, which is a warehouse for restaurants. So we ended up doing a walk through this restaurant depot, and it almost looks like a scene out of The Sopranos.
Hell yeah. Well, I'm a huge Sopranos fan, as is pretty much anybody, most people I know. I mean, I can't wait to see that. Were you a big Sopranos fan too?
Yes, yeah, yes, especially living in Soprano land.
Yeah, Jersey. You lived in the heart. You lived in the heart. Did you ever go to any of the places it was kind of based off of?
The Holston's was about a block away from my middle school.
Wow.
I currently live less than a mile from the house that was used for Uncle Junior. I walked there. One of my walks was actually to Uncle Junior's house from my house, from my apartment here, and that's about 3/4 of a mile away from here. The house that supposed to be in Brooklyn, but is actually in Newark, is where Phil Leotardo lived, the Talking House. That's not far from here.
Oh, yeah, that is a funny. That's a funny reference when Phil wasn't there. The actor wasn't at the show, and so he was the roof was talking.
And you ever hear them call it the Ginzo Highway?
I have not.
Well, they've mentioned they call it the Ginzo Highway. They've called it on there a couple times. It's the real name of it is Bloomfield Avenue.
Okay.
And I have lived within a couple of miles of Bloomfield Avenue my entire life. So, yeah, every time I hear like Bloomfield, I live in Belleville, which is like mentioned.
Yeah, Uncle Junior lived in Belleville. I mean, obviously, you said his house is a mile away,
Yeah.
but I know he lived there.
Everyone, so I've lived in Bloomfield, Belleville, or Newark my whole life. So it's like all these things are mentioned on The Sopranos. I once one of my walks, I actually walked to where Tony's mother lived in Verona. So that was another walk I did. It's all around me. It's everything on The Sopranos is around me. The chicken market that Uncle Junior mentioned, that's about 2 blocks from me.
Hell yeah. I also want to mention on the Frank Walks thing, I can't believe I hadn't brought up already. The one with Scott Van Pelt just blew my mind. What was that like for you? Because I know you obviously have had a lot of beef with Scott Van Pelt, and then you got to actually hang out with them and walk with them. What was that experience like?
Yeah, Big Cat was able to arrange that, and that was something else. And what made the walk even better is where we're walking. We're walking by the reflecting pool under the Lincoln Memorial. I mean, it's just it could be, and it was actually a rare nice day that day. It was low 50s and sunny. I mean, that was just everything worked perfectly with that.
That's amazing. What was SVP like? Just getting to hang out with him.
He's a great guy. He really is. I mean, he couldn't be better. Unlike Butchergrass.
Have you ever? I haven't met Butchergrass, but obviously, he's not. So he's not what SVP. SVP's always come off as such a good guy. That doesn't surprise me. I've always heard that.
Yeah, he really is a good guy.
Also, just while we got you here, I mean, you got Frank, you're a freaking content machine. As I said, with Mikey Betts and Jinx, you got a great team. You've also got your podcast as well. You got the Raw Dogging series. You got your 30 ballpark tour. You got Frank Walks. I mean, you got some Tank Cooks. I mean, you're doing the whole damn thing. Is there any other content you want to highlight?
That's everything. I mean, and this week's Tank Cooks is the one that everyone's asked me for as long as I've been doing Tank Cooks.
Oh yeah, what? I mean, can you? I mean, that's teasing it pretty good. I don't know. I don't want to ask you spoil it, but what does that even mean?
Wellington.
Oh, you're doing beef Wellington. That's complicated. Look, I want to do beef Wellington. That'll be good.
Yeah, very complicated. It took me like 6 hours to cook that damn thing.
Oh, well, I want to do, if you're cool, I definitely want to do a Tank Cooks with you because I need your cooking help. Frank, you're a hell of a cook. I'm the worst. As I'm sure you laughed and saw my attempt at a grilled cheese a couple weeks ago. I'm struggling. I need all the help I can get.
Oh, I also saw the hot dog thing.
Yeah, that was rough too. I got better after the first one, thank God. The first one was rough, but we improved after that. Luckily.
Yeah, the parboil method is good for hot dogs.
Okay.
Which is basically you put a little bit of water in a frying pan, and then you put the hot dogs in, and you let the water boil off. It kind of like cooks the inside first, and then you let the water boil out, and then you grill the outside of the hot dog, and it basically creates a nice snap.
All right. I will definitely try that. I know I certainly trust your expertise when it comes to hot dogs, and the Raw Dogging series is, I mean, freaking massive. I can't wait to see it all these ballparks around the country.
That's going to be something I really look forward to.
Hell yeah. Well, Frank, looking back on it, so I saw the rant came up the other day that got you noticed by Barstools when you went nuts. One of my favorite videos you've done this year is when you went to that NJ Transit hearing and went off on them with the way their appropriation of funds. Your longstanding beef in NJ Transit is, let's just say it's been pretty entertaining.
Yep, and I'll be dropping a song on them soon.
A song?
Yep.
Wow. What can this man not do? A song about NJ Transit. I can't wait to hear that.
I'm collaborating with Caroline now about a song about New Jersey transits.
Oh, I can't wait. That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Well, what's your next? I know you mentioned you're going to wait and announce the ballpark trips. You're heading out. Do you what in the next few weeks? You have any trips coming up next couple of weeks?
We got some walks lined up in the next few days.
Okay.
Big one this weekend.
All right.
At the Martinsville in Virginia at NASCAR for NASCAR this weekend, and I'll be doing a walk there. So that's gonna be something interesting. I will be at Dude Wipes on Saturday night, and the what do they call that, cookout on Sunday.
Hell yeah, love that. Dude Wipes sponsor.
I'll be in Chicago for the mini golf thing.
Awesome. I remember you got that mini golf thing going a few years ago. I will be at the mini golf thing as well. As I will not be missing any more Barstool sponsored events. I can assure you of that. After all the hell I caught for missing that combine. But awesome. Well, I can't wait to see you in Chicago. I know it's really fun when y'all come in here, and it seems like you're having a good time just getting out on the road.
Yes, I am. At this point, it's better on the road because I'm not watching the Mets.
Frankie Tank, as always, anything else you want to share with the fans before we let you get out of here? I really appreciate you giving us your time on this Tuesday morning.
Just subscribe to all my platforms, and then you'll see when everything comes up.
Hell yeah. Subscribe to all Frank's platforms. Buy Frank Walk shirts. Keep up doing what you're doing, Frank. I love it. I mean, literally, you're crushing it at Barstool. Everybody, you can see it by the reactions you're getting when you're out in the world. It's just building and building and building. And the Walks movement is, man, it's a movement. I mean, that's really what it is at this point, P. It's inspiring people. You're feeling better. And I can't wait to see, when you hit a year, because, I mean, you're halfway there already.
Halfway there.
Hell yeah. Well, thanks to Frank the Tank for joining us this morning on Wake Up Mintzy. Man's a living legend for a reason, and we appreciate you giving us your time. And can't wait to see you in Chicago next week. We'll link up for some content for sure.
All right. Well, I'll definitely be there next week, and that should be fun.
Hell yeah. Maybe we'll have to do a cooking. Maybe we can do something in the kitchen, like a cooking video
Oh,
or
that would be
something.
great.
Hell yeah. Well, Frank, thank you. You always are very supportive of me as well. So I just want you to know I appreciate it.
All right. See you later, Mintzy.
Frank the Tank joining us here on Wake Up Mintzy presented by Dude Wipes. Always good to catch up with him. Moody, no surprise there on the Mets negativity.
No, not surprised at all to hear Frank be so negative. And I'll say this: when I saw Frank like a year and a half ago just trashing the Mets, I was like, who is this guy being so negative about a roster that's really talented? Tons of talent up and down. They got Verlander, Scherzer. I thought the Mets were going to be a pretty solid team, but I see Frank just trashing them, just all over their ass. And in the end, Frank was right. At the time, I thought he was not right, but it is true. Frank was right, and the
And
Mets
now
are
it's
not good.
immortalized in a brick in front of City Field.
It's amazing, bro. You were
I,
right.
and I hope Steve Cole, when he walks out of the Jackie Robinson Rotunda, sees that brick every time. Yes, Frank was right. Look at
There's
that
a.
brick.
How'd you get that brick?
The Mets had fan bricks last year. Cliff got me this one. And it says Frank was right, and it's gonna be right in front of City Field. I even have another one that says Frank the Tank. So I got two bricks out there in front of City Field. How do you
That's
like that? How do you like that, Steve?
I mean, do you ever have? I mean, obviously you're very outspoken as you should be because the performance justifies it. Yeah, I mean, did they ever give you any problems in there, the Mets?
I've had a little bit of issues recently. I mean, they were unhappy when I tried to do a cleansing with the Pete Alonso Team USA jersey. I mean, I thought it was a cursed jersey, and I thought I could try to save the season by doing a cleansing, and they tried to say it was borderline arson, but it was in a barbecue pit with the You Gotta Believe boys, and I won't do that again. But I just know that I know they don't like me, and they don't like my negativity. I've been blocked by Steve Cohen on Twitter, and I've been told that their directors on SNY have strict orders not to show me on TV again.
Oh wow. Well, Frank, you know what that means? You're making your mark in the world, though, because if they didn't know, it'd be a hell of a lot bigger problem if they didn't know who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's wild. Though. That is got to be wild, though. That like your favorite team and you have beef with them. That's got to be a crazy dynamic to manage.
It truly is.
That's why you're getting out all over America this year, though. There you go. Oh,
Yes.
that's so funny though. And honestly, I hate to say this to sound negative, but if they try to like kick you out or do something, it'll be the greatest content of all time. So in a weird, dark way, I almost hope it happens just to see because the public outcry, people love you so much that if they do anything like that, they're gonna catch the heat tenfold.
Strike me down, and I'll become more powerful than they can ever imagine.
Don't mess with Frank Tank. They can't come. You know, they say if you want to come at the king, you best not mess, and they definitely don't need to mess with the king of New York. That's for damn sure. That's funny as hell. Well, Moody, if you already, I know you're putting your picks out every day, and you've got a draft. You've got a DraftKings group now too. You're doing your picks on.
Yes, we started the DraftKings pick yesterday, or DraftKings group yesterday, so we're good to go on that.
Oh,
And
I'll have to look for that one.
yeah, you get so Frank. What I like to do is the MLB home run props. I'm big on home run props, and then I give out my picks every day. I'm 11-2 over my last 13 picks, so we're
Oh,
cooking.
nice.
Yeah, we're cooking right now. Off to a good start. We're up like 5.5 units to start the season, and then my specialty is home run props. Hit a 29-1 parlay this weekend on MLB home run props, and we're gonna keep it going. And slowly but surely, we're starting to build this MLB audience over here. I've been playing fantasy baseball.
I got a prop for you.
Okay, what you got for me?
Next, within the next few days, Javier Baez and Mark Canha will both hit home runs against the Mets.
Okay, I'm interested. Right now, Javier Baez couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat. So if he hits a home run against the Mets, we
Yeah,
will once
well,
again be saying Frank is right.
We had a pitcher walk him yesterday, so
Yeah.
we figured out Michael Toxin.
That's the first positive I've heard about Javier Baez in a while. That's for damn sure. Other than that money he keeps stealing with that contract he's got. Whew.
At least you didn't sign Javier Baez to a long-term deal, Frank.
Yeah, we only gave up, though, a decent prospect in Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yeah, he's looking like he's going to be pretty good for the Cubs. Right now, the interesting thing with Crow Armstrong is that they're worried about his bat. Like, he's an incredible fielder, tons of athleticism, but he's not hitting quite the way they wanted. They wanted him to break camp with the major league squad, but I just don't think
Oh,
he's ready to
gee,
hit.
I wonder why. Because someone told him how to hit.
Yeah, there you go. It makes a lot of sense. Now it
You
makes a ton
know,
of sense.
one thing yesterday is Starling Marte, who steals bases, was on first base in the ninth inning with 2 outs, and he was told strictly not to run. The Mets are the only team to have not attempted to steal a stolen base yet.
And that's their guy too. That's crazy. If you're going to turn anybody loose, it's Marte.
And basically, the Mets in an age when stolen bases are starting to come back, the manager says that he doesn't like the Mets 10 commandments. Thou shalt not steal. Yeah, I mean, I picture Charlton Heston coming out with the commandments. Thou shalt not covet wins. Thou shalt not win. Thou shalt dance and enjoy the losses.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, quick couple things to Wake Up Mintzy. I'm sure y'all noticed, third week in a row, we've got it figured out now where Moody can do this remote, thanks to our team and our production team up here. So we're trying to do it every week. We're building this damn thing. We got a great sponsor in Dude Wipes that's behind us. And, I got to be honest, if we're trying to build a consistent product, we got to be consistent getting it out. I see that. So I'm really liking the momentum we've got on that front and appreciate people like Frank for supporting us. Also want to mention Moody. Big week this week in New Orleans. I believe you're coming too. Hogs for the Cause, my favorite charity event of the year. I'm raising money. Again, I've got a fundraising page up. I'll be sharing that link in a little bit. Got some content coming up with that. But 90 barbecue teams, world-class music fest in New Orleans at UNO Lakefront. Can't wait to get down there. I know you had a huge time last year at it.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this. I think Hogs for the Cause is Bonnaroo for pigs. I mean, it's just like, it's a wild festival. Mintz had me come down last year. I was not expecting it to be as fun as it was. The music, the atmosphere. Obviously, you expect great food at something like this. But the atmosphere around it was elite. Friday Night of Hogs is a real thing. I mean, it is a party like no other. And if you're from Louisiana, you understand these people in South Louisiana just do it different than anyone in the country. So Friday Night Hogs is a real thing, and I would advise you to be there if you could make it down.
Hell yeah, I can't wait. That's Friday night and Saturday. I'm part of a team called Morton Anderson's Mullets with like Fox Brothers, Atlanta, home team Charleston, a whole bunch of other great barbecue people from around the country. We raised $360,000 last year for families fighting child cancer with our team. I don't know if we're going to quite be able to match. That's a damn big number to get to. But I'm going to be sharing my Rally Bound link at Stoolies this week. Even if you get $1, $5, I mean, everything counts here when it comes to families fighting child cancer. It's a great cause, one of my favorite events of the year. And I can't wait to get that going. And you excited about that this weekend? Moody, you have a good Easter weekend?
Yeah, everything was good. Had the stuff with the family. Went and saw my
Yeah.
grandma and stuff. And yeah, everything's pretty good right now. Just glad baseball season's here more than anything, to be honest with you. Oh,
Hell yeah.
And picked up like 15 wins of Warzone this past week. So, always good time with the boys. So we got good things going on over here.
Hell yeah. I got a lot of fun stuff ahead too. I had a blast. I got to meet my new nephew in North Carolina over the weekend. Got to see my family. That was awesome in the mountains hanging out. And I'm just excited now about Hogs this weekend in NOLA. And I believe I'm playing World Series of Poker Chicago main event next weekend. And then I got a big Vegas trip in the works coming up soon. It never ends. It's like Frank. I don't quite have it on the Frank level because there's no other Frank, but I do the traveling circus quite well, and it never stops. And there's a lot to look forward to as always. So, Frank, I want to thank you so much for joining Wake Up Mintzy.
One of these days, maybe I'll be able to get down to Hogs.
Dude, love to have you at Hogs. I should have. Sounds like you got the NASCAR thing this weekend, but we'll make that happen for next year, man.
A nice New Orleans walk will be a great one.
Oh, walk around Hogs around UNO Lakefront. People will be losing their minds, man. Love to have you reviewing some barbecue too. People would love that.
That would be great.
Well, I think we'll put that on the calendar, hopefully tentatively for 2025. Well, Thanks to Frank the Tank for joining us. Tyler Moody, our producer, our production team at Barstool. Dude Wipes, Stella Boo for sponsoring us. Got some fun stuff coming up. Chef Donnie and me are going to be doing a cooking video this week. Got some other big guests lined up. We're going to catch up with Quiggs and the NC State Season of Destiny. Looking forward to that. And we're going to try to run down Rico Bosco, the bell of the ball, before his Final Four trip as well. But thank y'all for joining us for Wake Up Mintzy. We're doing the damn thing every Tuesday through Thursday. What's up, fellas? As y'all know, it's been a hell of a messy year. And the only thing messier than my online history are my big old fat sweaty dumps. That's why this season, I only trust Dude Wipes to handle my Mississippi mud pies.
Oh, Mintzy, you're cooking now. Ooh, wait.
When you're hot, you're hot.